site setup is so important to understand. Once you build your website and you upload it to your hosting company, you need to understand how to configure that in Dreamweaver. So I've done that successfully. My site is currently not up and running because I have not renewed my hosting, but I have done it successfully and it was working until recently. But I want to show y'all my setup. First of all, let me back out of here for a minute. If you don't have an XAMPP server, you'll need to install one if you're going to build a site and put it on a hosting company. What this does is it allows you to develop on your local application, your local computer, like your so that you don't have to test on the, you don't have to publish it, don't have to publish your pages first to test them, to view them. This allows you to view them on your local site, and it allows you to develop PHP on your local site. So I encourage everybody to learn PHP. It's the same thing as HTML. It just gives you access to a little bit more, and people get really intimidated by it, but it's not that hard. Okay, so let's start about talking about site setup. If you don't have XAMPP server, I am not a rocket scientist. I'm somebody that does this as a hobbyist. If I can do this, y'all can do it. Let me see. Just go to Google, and it's different if you have an Apple computer than if you have Windows. You use a different server, but I'm not familiar with Apple, so I think might be, I don't know. It's the XAMPP server. But go here and download this. It's free for you to download. There used to be something like XAMPP and Bitami partnered or something together at one time. Yeah, maybe it was this. This gave you a little bit more like, if you can do this one, I would do this one because it automatically puts your connection in for your MySQL server. So if you ever go in to develop WordPress or anything, you don't have to configure that. I don't have a clue how to configure that. I used this one and it did it for me. So if you ever progress and go into WordPress, it's just nice to have that already installed. If you can, use that one. And opt for the Bitami model in it. Okay, let me close this. This is my XAMPP server. Whenever I start my development, I have to go in here and turn on my Apache server. That's my local server. This is your MySQL database. All right, but we're just talking about the Apache server. Okay, this is your server on your local computer. All right, so in Dreamweaver, you're going to go site, new site, and you're going to name your site whatever. But I've already done that, so we're going to look at what I've already done because sometimes that's helpful to see somebody else's setup. Okay, this is the one I did, so I'm going to go down here to this little pencil and hit edit. So just so y'all can see how I filled out the form. Okay, the first page of the form is called site. The first thing they want is a site name. Y'all can name that whatever you want to name it. The only thing that matters is right here. It references the site name. So if you have more than one site. Okay, then use this little icon and map out to where your folders are. Now, all my, let me slow down. The folder is where all your web pages are, where you store all your images. Like this is my main folder over here. I have my image folder in there. I have my jQuery folder in there, my CSS folder. All my treasures are in that one folder for site setup. All my stuff for my site are in that folder. Okay, so you're going to put that folder on the XAMPP server. And all of these files, when you install XAMPP, it will install most likely on your C drive. And what you'll do is you'll go to your C drive, you'll go down here to the bottom, you'll see this XAMPP folder. This is already installed when you install XAMPP. And then you'll see this htdocs folder. That's already installed when you install XAMPP, and these are all the folders I made inside that folder of my various sites. Now I'm in this site right now, okay? Okay, this is the most important part. This server tab over here on the left, if you look here, I have two server setups. I have a local server that allows me to view and test my pages locally on my computer before I transfer them up to the internet. If you don't have that, you won't be able to develop PHP and you won't be able to view your pages locally. So you need to be able to do that. Okay, for those of you that do not want a site set up on the internet, that's fine. You still need to do the local server so you can view and test your PHP files and all that good stuff. Okay, notice one is marked testing and one is marked remote. Notice that the testing is on the local network and the remote is on an FTP connection. Let's go into the local first. Okay, you got 4 form fields here to fill out. This one, the server name, name it whatever you want to name it. It doesn't matter. This one, connect using, here are your options. This is going to be my local server, so I'm doing local. The server folder, again, use that little icon and map to it using that. This is the same thing as that, except this would trick me up all the time. I'm just telling you. Your slashes are going this way on this web URL, and your slashes are going the opposite way on the server folder, so don't let that mess you up. And where this has XAMPP HTTP docs, this has localhost. So make sure that you've got it set up like that, because I'm telling you, it'll trick you up. Okay, on the advanced, these are the server models. Some people are brilliant and they know how to do cold fusion. I don't. We do PHP MySQL, so that's what you do. That's what most of us do here on this little group that I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of cold fusion. This is what I've got checked, and this is what I've got checked. I then hit save. I'm not going to hit save now because I've already done it. And when I came over here, this was marked testing. I mark it testing, okay? This is my FTP connection server. This is what puts my files to the internet. Now, the company I used was HostGator. So your connection, if you use somebody else, might be a little bit different. You have to ask them what the root directory is if they have one. They might not. And you just have to ask them in the FTP protocol, what do you put as the root directory? Do you put blank? Do you put, I don't know what the other options are, but there are other options. I put public HTML, and I did not, they told me that. I got an email from them. They told me how to do it, and you have to read that email and save on to it. HostGator was a pleasure to work for. I recommend them. I liked them. They were a good experience. I did not have a good experience with GoDaddy. I haven't used them in years. I've heard that they've tried to improve upon their customer service, but my experience with them was not the best. That's just my opinion. So they might have other things for a bigger company, but I would go with HostGator for most of what we do here. I would use them. I was perfectly happy with them. Okay, now I'm in the basic tab. My port is 21. The server name is HostGator, but you can name it, again, whatever you want to name it. The connect using, remember, this is what you're using to connect to the internet, so it's File Transfer Protocol. Y'all can read on the rest of it, but it's FTP is probably what you want to use. Okay, this is the FTP address of your website. When you go and buy a domain, that's what you're going to put there, .com or .org or whatever you're using. But again, that comes from your hosting company, so make sure you look out for the email. Also, it takes like 24 hours sometimes for your site to get established and up and running after you first initiate. So just keep that in mind. They will give you your username and they will give you your password. When you hit test, it will actually go to that server, make a connection, and test it. It won't connect now because, like I said, I have not renewed my hosting. So it won't, but that's where you test it. Don't go out and test it. Test it here, because if it doesn't connect, you've got something wrong here and you need to fix it. Okay, the root directory is public HTML because, again, that's what my hosting company required there. Your hosting company, if you use somebody different, might require something different. This is the web URL. Notice the slant of the slants. Okay. I think one of these, if you have problems connecting, you'll get a message saying to toggle this, just so y'all know if an error message comes up. What else do I need to show you? Okay, that's the basic tab. This is the advanced tab. Okay, that should not be PHP MySQL on this server because this is not my testing server. This is my FTP server. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hit cancel here. That's how you set up the FTP server. CSS processor is if you use Sass. And I have played around with it before, but most of us don't use it. So if you get real into Bootstrap, you can use Sass. Sass allows you to edit your Bootstrap CSS. Like, you know how Bootstrap has green as the color associated with the class success and red associated with the class alert. Well, you can change what colors are associated with those classes using Sass, but we're not talking about that today. That's what that is. So most of you don't need to worry about CSS processor. This is kind of good to do. I do use my imaging. I do go into the advanced settings and establish where my images are to go. I did do document here. I don't think I filled out any more of this stuff. I did not do that, I don't think. This is Bootstrap. Oh, this is your Bootstrap version where you can change if y'all want an upgraded version, but you don't have to do that. I don't use any of this. Okay, I didn't mess too much around with advanced settings. The only thing I usually do is that image tab, but you don't have to do it. It's just nice to be able to do that. It helps you more with your code hinting. The main things you want to fill out are the server and the site. Okay. Done. Now, let me show you how to upload a page. Keep in mind that my hosting company is not hosting me right now because I have let my service lapse. But when you upload, let's say you just created this page right here and you want to upload it, you've tested it out, it looks beautiful on your local server, you've tested it out by hitting F12. And normally there's pictures in here, but I took the pictures out. And everything looks beautiful, and you say, okay, I want to put that on the internet now. What you do, or what I do, is I hit this little icon over here to expand my server files. And you click this. Mine will not connect because, again, I haven't paid for my hosting, but give it a minute to stop trying to. But what this does is it pulls up the remote, it pulls up all the files in order like here. But what you're looking at on the left-hand side of the screen is your hosting company's file structure of all your files. The files you have on the internet, that's what that is here. There's a couple of other options like your testing server. this is all my files in my testing server on my local drive. But it'll do that for your remote server when you sign up for it. What you do when you want to transfer files, now I can't do it here. Let me see if that's because I haven't paid for my, let me see if I can do it. I'll use the testing server if I can. Let me disconnect. Okay, let me try to connect to testing server. All right. So pretend that says remote server. You have your remote server. What you do is you go to the file you want on, this is your local file. This is your remote or testing server, whichever one you choose over there. Hopefully it's your remote. What you do is you right click it and you put the file to the server. Now if you want to get the file, I'm going to get the file. If you want to get the file from the server and bring it to your computer, that's a get. Get and put, okay? Get takes it from the internet or foreign server and puts it on your hard and gets it for you so you can mark it up on your hard drive. Okay, let me just get you a get. Okay, it'll ask you should the dependent files be included in transfer. That's things like your pictures that go along with that page. Things like, you know, your CSS that goes along with that page, those kind of things. So if you want those to be transferred to, then say yes. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you've already got the pictures and you don't need them again. Okay. So that's how you get a file. And then make sure you disconnect. Okay. So if you want to take files from your remote server, which is your internet server, that's got to be on remote. You're going to right click the file you want and you're going to select get. If you want to upload files from your local files on your local computer, you're going to come to this side of the screen, this side, and you're going to find your file. You're going to hit right, and then you're going to put. Okay? This closes this window and shrinks it back down to this. This opens it. Okay? You can also do it with these arrows, but I don't do it that way because I get messed up. Okay, I think that goes over pretty much everything. If y'all are Adobe Dreamweaver fans and you like this video and you find it helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do videos periodically. I don't always get a chance to post them here on Facebook, but if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you'll be sure to see them all. Appreciate it. Like and comment and all that good stuff. I appreciate your help. Thank you.